Hello, I'm back to the podcast. This is Dare2BeAware, and I am your humble, gracious, and very highly favored, shout out Joe Budden, host, Alvi. Thanks for joining us once again. Another week of talking about a bunch of debauchery. And this week, I don't know if I have a plan for it. I think I'm just kind of winging it. There's a term that they use, a phrase. I forget what it is. Going by the fly of my, something like that. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. Winging it. But I'm continuing on this spiritual journey with the Lord Himself, and I'm finding that it is quite difficult to be sinless. And I'm not going to say that it's quite difficult because there's always a decision to be made. And we know if we're making the wrong decision. Well, I do at least. Like, I know what I'm choosing. So I'm just learning that you just gotta choose the right thing. And no matter what your fucking brain tells you, you gotta choose right. There is a book. I believe it's called Untethered Soul. I forget who writes it, but the concept is that your brain and that little voice in your head is not actually you. It's just a fucking voice in your head. And the way that he explains it, he's like, picture that voice in your head as a little person in the corner of the room, just sitting in a rocking chair, just throwing out all this bullshit at you. And that's not verbatim. I'm just regurgitating what I remember from the book. I read it a couple years ago, maybe, something like that. But if you're having trouble discerning, who you are or who you think you are, or just compartmentalizing your thoughts and that little voice in your head, I would definitely say pick that book up. There's like a sequel to the book. I forget what it is. Untethered Soul, and then there's another one. It's not really coming to me. But yeah, that book is pretty fire, and I'm going to tell you exactly what the other one is. It is called Living Untethered, and written by Michael A. Singer. And if I can find the PDF, I will put it in the comments after I post the video, because I want my people to be educated. And in today's extremely mass information and just abundance of just bullshit, sometimes it's just hard to make the right decision. And so I believe that on this spiritual journey, I will hone those skills and I will become elite at making the best decision and decisions. Because frankly, life is just a series of decisions. And there's a lot of bad influences out here, my friends. A number of them, quite frankly. And I've come to learn that you always have a choice to make, whether it's to chill with that person you shouldn't be chilling with, go out when you have work in the morning, stick to the plan that you've concocted. That took you very long to come to this point and make this plan, and you just blatantly disregard it. Making a decision. I think I seen a video on the gram the other day. It was like, not making a decision is making a decision. And so we need to make some more informed decisions, because life out here is crazy. Like, the devil is lurking, my friends. The devil is lurking. Shout out Glorilla. Seen that interview with Speedy Mormon or some shit, and she's like, beautiful. Beautiful. She's so fine. Anyways, yeah, decision making is crazy important. And another thing that you could read, if you're interested in perspective, there's a book, or it's an excerpt from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I believe it's called I forget. I think it's called Imp of the Perverse. Where it's this story about a guy, and I believe he commits a murder, and the entire thing is like he wants to tell somebody so bad about this horrible murder that he committed, and uh, I believe throughout the excerpt, he's just battling himself. And I believe in the end, he just like fucking screams it out and eventually and ends up, whatever, going through the consequences of murdering someone. But that is quite frankly a great metaphor and analogy for the world that we live in and the situations that we're put in daily, hourly, momentarily, because the imp of the perverse is just like that little devil that's on your shoulder, the angel and the devil thing. And we all have that instance where we know we're not supposed to be doing something, but we do it anyway, or we know that there's a thing that we can do that we're not supposed to do. It's really bad, but we still think about doing it. And it's just like, again, it goes back to decision making and the world that we live in, which is a free world, which is really crazy that, especially this country, we live in a fucking, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want. So basically what I'm saying is dare to be aware of the choices that you can make, and the influences that you have around you. I am a person who really be dolo. I be dolo. I'd rather be dolo than with bad company, bro. Like niggas be like, yo, who you going with? Who you pulling up with, dog? Nigga, me. I'm pulling up with me. I don't need nobody. I'm in this shit with me and myself and I and all that. And I think that's the best thing because you know what it is? You feel really shitty when you make a decision that's influenced by someone else or other people. And when you get a moment to sit and think about it, then you have something to attribute it to and you're like, damn, the fuck did I do that for? Like, I was just fucking following the crowd, or if I would have just gone with my intuition and just did my own thing, I'd have been so much better. But the reality is, most of us are very easily influenced, and is very difficult for a lot of people. And so I dare you to be aware of how often you say no or how often you say yes. Might turn into Jim Carrey in that one movie. Forgot what the name of it is, but he's got to say yes. Yes, man? What movie is that? Is that Jim Carrey? I think that is Jim Carrey. Yeah, hell yeah. So, and people gonna be mad at you, dog. People be like, bro, you don't gotta just like cut everybody off and disconnect like that. Nigga, yes I do. I don't want no fucking distractions. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing my shit. I'm focusing. Leave me the hell alone. And you know what's so funny that today, I was like, I don't know, my mom said something to me. And I was like, I don't got no attachments, like no, I don't got nobody checking for me. I don't have to respond to no messages at no kind of time frame. Like I'm completely detached and I love it. I love it. It's so freeing. It's so peaceful. And that's just the way I want it. And she's like, damn, I wish that could be me. And I'm like, live free or die, my friends. Live free or die. That's the mantra. And so I just want you to dare to be aware of your attachments. What are you so attached to? What are you so attached to that you can't say no to? I've been practicing saying no to things like on purpose. Like 10 times a day, I'll say no to something that normally I'll just, and it's something that may be like wasting time or something that, just like an aversion, basically. And it goes back to the imp of the perverse, like, you can do all the bad shit you want whenever you want to do it. But where the fuck is that going to get you? Outwitting the Devil, if you've never read that, by Napoleon Hill, which is actually it's an interview with the devil. And the interviewer is just asking the devil all of these questions. And the devil has to answer, basically, is the concept. of the book. I actually read the audio book on YouTube, which you can look it up, called Outwitting the Devil. And probably one singular books in my life that have changed, completely changed my perspective on life. Outwitting the Devil and 4 Hour Workweek. I read those two books at a time where I was extremely, what's the word? Impressionable, I guess. And I really needed like some kind of template. And damn, I'm kind of leaning to a side, aren't I? Whatever. We're going to be lopsided today. Anyways, Outwitting the Devil and 4 Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss and Napoleon Hill. And the reason that I say that is because in the book, they're like, you need to have definiteness of purpose. Like, if everything that you're doing is not towards one singular goal, I guess it doesn't have to be a singular goal, but everything that you're doing every moment of the day should be moving the needle forward. And the whole, like, one of the undertones of the book is like, he splits up everybody into two kind of people. You got drifters and you got non-drifters. And basically what he says is that, and this is the devil is like, I have control of 98% of people. He says 98% of people are easily influenced, meaning that they're drifters, meaning that if you decide to go to the gym, let's say it's after work, 7 p.m., trying to go, you decide that you're going to go to the gym. You're driving to the gym. Now, let's say you're about to leave to the gym and your man hits you up. Yo, my nigga, what's goody? How was work? You trying to light up, dog? And you're like, damn, I could really use a blunt right now, dog. Fuck it. So this, my friend, is a drifter. Why? Because you let a blunt derail you, my boy. And I'm not saying that I ain't never had that happen, because Lord knows I've been derailed. And this is the revelation that is outwitting the devil. Now, he attributes this to many things. The devil says that he uses drugs, sex, food. He says overindulgence of food to influence people, this 98% of the population, to have them in his grasp. And so, it is worth mentioning and definitely worth giving a listen or a read, because, like I said, that book changed my fucking life, bro. And there was a point in time where I would suggest this book to people, and I'd be like, yo, this book changed my life. Like, boom, go get it. And if you didn't go get it, like, the next time I talk to you, you ain't have no references from that shit, bro. I would be like, I'm not fucking with this nigga. Like, this nigga's not a friend that I want to have. Because if I tell you that a book changed my fucking life, and you don't at least go, like, look at it or read the first 2 pages, my boy, then I really don't got nothing else for you, bro. Like, and you don't got nothing else for me, quite frankly. And I'm a huge believer in the little things. I'm a huge believer in the little things make all the difference. Because eventually the little things become the big things. You know what I'm saying? So, and me being who I am, like being a writer and being like super duper detail oriented, like, I think the little things are super duper important for me. And I begin to think that, I'm kind of a lunatic in that regard. And I don't really mind it, because I know that if I don't pay attention to the little things, man, then how am I gonna handle the big things, So this is what I got out of that. What else? There's also a crazy concept that Outwitting the Devil introduces, and it's hypnotic rhythm. There's this concept that, like, once you do something, it's like a habit turns into a ritual, turns into a hypnotic rhythm. And after you get to the hypnotic rhythm phase of a bad habit or a good habit, and it's like it's something that is almost permanently ingrained in your brain. And I don't know exactly what he says. I think he says it takes like 7 years to get there, some crazy shit. But I'm always thinking, like, damn, son, is this hypnotic rhythm for me? Like, have I crossed that mark? And it's just a point to be more conscientious of what kind of habits you're doing and what kind of habits you're developing. So yeah, Outwitting the Devil is super duper, just like a fucking life-changing book. All these things I'm gonna post, or I'm gonna link in the comments section, uh, when I post the video. But yeah, man, like, so habits obviously really important. I guess I can talk about Power of Habit. If you've never read Power of Habit, I believe Power of Habit is by Charles Duhigg. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I think that's how you pronounce it. Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg. And this book is a book that I picked up like within that time frame of me reading Outwitting the Devil. Um, uh, what was the other one? Outwitting the Devil, 4 Hour Work Week, and then along those lines, I picked up Power of Habit and Atomic Habits. But Power of Habit is really, really good because he pretty much breaks down how a habit works. And he says that, okay, there's 3 steps to a habit. And if you didn't know this, it's good info. Because when you know the science of a habit, then maybe if you were to, but this is like for someone who may be kind of analytical and kind of like, is able to, I mean, anybody I guess can use this information, but you kind of got a certain kind of mindset to be able to use this information, and like use the science of it to really benefit you and change a habit. So the science of a habit is like you got the trigger, you have the habit itself, and then you have the reward. And so, like, for example, let's say you're a cigarette smoker, right? And let's say the reason that you smoke cigarettes is because, I don't fucking know, it makes you full, let's say. Like, it takes away your hunger. Whatever. Okay, so you have the trigger, right? Which would be, let's say you smell smoke somewhere. Or whatever the trigger is. You smell a dookie. It makes you want to smoke a cigarette. Damn, you smell that? Did you fart? You got a bogey, right? Just light up the bogey, and then you feel full, right? These things don't even correlate, but you get it. Like there's a trigger, which is probably smelling cigarette. You don't really smell shit and want to smoke a cigarette. I mean, I don't know. I don't smoke cigarettes, but anyways, so there's a trigger. There's the habit itself. The smoke, you smell it. You're walking down the street, you smoke, you smell it. And then you light up the cigarette, which is the habit, right? And then the reward is you feel full for whatever reason. You feel full. So let's say that you wanted to change this smoking habit. So what would you do? So Charles Duhigg says, in order to change a habit, you have to keep the trigger naturally. You're always going to have a trigger. And you're never going to be able to control the trigger because you could be walking down the street and how the fuck are you going to control the smoke that you smell? You can't. So the trigger always stays the same. It's part 1. Part 2 is the habit itself, so which is smoking a cigarette, and the third is a reward, which is feeling full. So you would change the itself, meaning that you would keep the trigger, you change the act of smoking a cigarette, but you would keep the reward. So basically, you would have to find something that triggers when it's triggered. Okay, it gives you the same reward that smoking a cigarette would. So let's say you like Nutri-Grain bars, and they kind of make you full, right? And so if you would want to change your smoking habit, if the reward is that it makes you full, then you would, as soon as you smell the trigger, right, instead of smoking a cigarette, you would eat a Nutri-Grain bar. Why? Because it would have the same reward as if you were smoking a cigarette. That's why they got those nicotine patches, because it gives you this kind of the same effect, but it's changing this. You know what I'm saying? That's why people, instead of smoking cigarettes, they're like, yo, I'm trying to quit. I got a vape now. I mean, I guess the vape gives you the same thing, but you're still kind of smoking. So that's not really changing the habit. You're still smoking something. Granted, it's not fucking tobacco and nicotine, but I mean, it is nicotine. It's not tobacco. And so that's a really powerful concept to understand. For any habits that you may have and you want to change them, keep the trigger, you change the habit, and you find something to replace it with that keeps a reward that particular bad habit gives you. There are a bunch of other tidbits that Power of Habit gives in there. I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, there's a bunch of good ones, bro. Go read it. I'm gonna link it. I think he also talks about how the brain, like, it doesn't care if it's positive or negative, like whatever you're doing. Like it doesn't give a fuck. Literally. It doesn't give a fuck. So, you know how people harp on, I don't know if this is per se from the book, but you know how people harp on like negative shit? And you know how they say, like, if you want to get a kid to do something, or if you want to get a kid to not do something, you don't say, don't jump on the bed. Because what are they going to do? They're going to fucking jump on the bed. Obviously, they're fucking retarded kids. Just kidding. They're just dumb kids, right? That was me rewinding and then saying it again. But so instead of telling a kid, yo, don't jump on the bed, you would say, yo, sit on this chair. So you would tell them what you want them to do instead of telling them what you want them not to do. And it's kind of a concept that whatever you harp on, right, that's what the brain is going to focus on. And I think that's a super important concept as well, because that's also where worry comes into play. And worry on my spiritual journey that I've been on is basically the dumbest shit that you can do, right? You can be concerned because concern leads to action, but you must not be worried ever. Don't ever worry, because worry paralyzes you. It takes away God's power. It takes it away. You're saying that the only person who can actually control the outcome of this thing, okay? You're taking it out of his hands, and you're putting it in your hands essentially. And you're saying that, you know, like, this is potentially something, like, what the fuck what do you know? You have no control over the outcome of anything. So why worry about it? You know, only God chooses results. Only God, you know, that's why, like, I've been putting, you know, sometimes I get, like, I want to put in a pod. Like, I've recorded a lot of pods, right? I don't always post them because in my mind, I don't want to offend people. And sometimes people reach out to me and be like, you know, this is da 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 da. And they say some shit about it. And at the end of the day, there's no way that I can control how someone else is going to react to what I put out. Right? And it's kind of the same concept as expectation and results and worrying. It's kind of one and the same, because just do you and the rest will fall into place. You have no control over any. You could be doing so good you could be consistent for 10 years and still not get the result you want because it's not your time yet, my friend. It's just not how life works. When God chooses your time, but when it's time for you to get yours, then you'll get it. From that point on, you know, until that point, I should say, just keep working and fuck what everybody else thinks. And I know that I'm saying this, but I don't always abide by that. And there's a lot of things that I say that I don't practice what I preach. And not all the times, obviously. And most of the time, whenever I mention something, is because something has affected me in a way that I don't want it to affect you in that way. And so when I regurgitate this stuff, it's because I've been affected by it in a way that was detrimental to my being. And why would I be here if I can't give you the sauce, right? And in the Bible, it says that if you don't follow the word, right, then, you know, you're going to have to suffer the consequences in real life. Like, the things are going to happen. If you don't follow the word, that's like your parents telling you, yo, trust me, don't do this shit. And then you'd be like, I learned through action. So I learned through like doing it and failing. What? Like, see, I'm saying this now, but I was that guy, you know? I was that person. My mom still thinks that I'm that person. Like, she might say something to me, which is valid, but, you know, we're egotistical fucks a lot of the times. And we think we know everything. So lo and behold, 5 days later, I come running home with just crying, proving her point. And so, you know, my point is to dare to be aware. of all the things that I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but I lost my train of thought as I usually do. But yeah, I think that's good for today's rant. I just wanted to chat a little bit about Outwitting the Devil. I just wanted to give you a little bit of sauce. I'm working on doing this more often as far as being more fact-based and basing my pods off of, certain stuff information that I consume because I want to bring you guys some value. And a lot of the times I have perspectives that are, whatever, they're my perspective, but everybody has one and everybody has an opinion. I just don't want to be that guy that just has an opinion up here and just always chatting about fucking the same shit. So, um, yeah. So, Outwitting the Devil. Definitely cop that. That's Napoleon Hill. Untethered Soul, Michael A. Singer. The sequel of Untethered Soul is Living Untethered, which you should read after that, I believe, right? It's a two-book set. Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg. Even Atomic Habits by who writes Atomic Habits? Chris something, right? James Clear. That's right, James Clear. So Atomic Habits is really fire as well. So yeah, I'm gonna link those in the bottom here. And I really appreciate whoever's been watching the pods. I have to tell you that, it really means a lot to me that you just watch the pod, and to be honest with you, I don't really promote the pod. I have to get better at it. I'm a little inconsistent with it, and I'm working through my inconsistencies. And I hope that you guys, tap in to the journey because I promise you that I'm planning to definitely do some really big things. And so I'll just leave it at that because, who's gonna believe me anyway, right? Who's gonna believe me? Uh, so yeah. I hope that, you guys take something out of this. And I hope that you guys tap in to, as I mentioned, being on this spiritual journey that I've been on, I've literally been cutting out secular music. And I've been listening to Andres Baby like pretty much exclusively for the past like fucking I don't know how long it's been. Maybe it's been like a week. It's not that long, but like, there's only so much music the guy has. So I'm gonna have to find some different music or different artists as far as gospel music because I went to a service the other day and when was that? It was Saturday. Yeah, so it's only been a couple, not even been that long, but it feels like it's been dumb long. That's how like transitioning into anything is just how it feels. Like you could do it for a couple of days and you feel like, dude, I've been fucking doing this shit forever. But no, my boy, you just started, so just take it easy. But anyways, that service was like some real worship heavy service, and they were playing some bangers. Like I was jamming. I thought I was like in some EDM shit low key, not really, but you know what I'm saying. So I think that really did a number on me. They also had like a host, pastor. She was like a prophet of some sort, and she had some nice things to say, and just like a really relatable. She was like a younger kind of pastor, so that was super duper relatable, and I think that had a little bit of an effect on me, and kind of pushed me a little bit further into my spiritual journey. Um, so, so yeah, I don't want to go on too far. I'm already, what, 41? So, yeah, I think that's good. Do I have a piece for y'all? Do y'all want to hear some Let me see. Yeah, let's finish off on a piece. I don't think did I read some for you? Oh, I did. I read Truth Be Told for you guys last time. So let me see what I got over here. Just bear with the kid. This is gonna be edited out anyways. This shit automatically edits these little slow points out. So don't even worry about nothing on it. Don't worry about nothing and bear no pain on so. Alright, let's see. Damn. Okay. What's this? No, it's not what I want. I got so many things that I'm alright, what about this one? All right, I'm gonna read this piece for you guys. It's called. This piece is pretty good. I like it. It's called Doubt. Doubt. A seed watered by tears of doubt. Chills we feel when things turn out as less than projected. This feeling attested by switching perspective and flipping the message. It can be amended. Subconscious these thoughts. They're brewed and fermented by fruits of the plight. We must stay relentless or suffer. The doubt fuels the lamented. It acts as a buffer between what is real and what's yet to occur. But none of it's real. And if you pursue, define me this fear, this magical force, this indictment of self in illusional court, a self-accusation that's hard to endure, to switch up the trend and avoid the abhorred. Believe in yourself. That's how you stay pure. So yeah, that's doubt. That part's that piece is a little fire. So yeah, that's it. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Comment, like, subscribe, check the comment. I'm gonna post all this stuff that I talked about. So God bless. Take it easy. Peace.